When I started doing art commissions for a living, sometimes I heard other artists complain about commissions, to which I would just shrug and say, white people problems, I didn't come from money, my life is wonderful as a commissioned artist, I wake up whenever I want, I don't need to take traffic, no one tells me what to do, and I get to go to the gym when it's empty, yeah! It took me a while to realize that I too was put in a box, maybe a nicer box, but still a box. Hi guys, I'm Sayuui, a full-time anime artist. I was a hobbyist artist once. I started drawing decades ago on paper with colored pencils. As you can assume nowadays, I don't spend most of my time drawing for myself. I draw to pay my bills, and my art business is doing relatively well, not gonna lie, but a lot of the time I'm conflicted about whether to get more commissions or to draw for myself. First off, I want to say that I don't hate all commissions and clients. I really like doing art commissions that align with my portfolio, just so I don't end up scaring any future prospects. If you want to stick around and listen to this video, I promise it's not just going to be me rambling about commissions. I'm going to give you some useful insight as well. First off, I want to start by being fair to art commissions and giving you some insight that you might have not thought of about this medium. Art commissions has been my main income stream for the last 5 years. I had a pretty hectic schedule in university, and because of that, I couldn't work. And I would do commissions to get at least some type of income. And also, I live in a third world country, so the currency converts a lot for me. So I can get like 1 or 2 commissions and get revenue to pay most of my bills. So I cannot say that commissions are a bad type of income. Another thing that you might never have thought about commissions is that it's instant money. You don't have to go through any thresholds, or you don't have to wait for paydays. It's usually the money is there. You just pick it up. And that's why commissions can be the best income stream for a lot of people. However, the standards to sell commissions for a living nowadays are very high, and they keep rising. I evolved my work in a way so I can get more commercial work than personal work. But one thing that no one tells you is that as you evolve, you tend to get pickier clients. There was this time I made a series of commissions for a client, and every time I would send him a preview, he would make a meeting with some people. I don't know who these people were, and they would point a finger at my drawing and say everything that could be improved about them, quote unquote improved. But you know, these people apparently didn't have any art schooling or knowledge of the fundamentals in any way, so the improvements that they wanted to do in the artwork were not actually improvements. And it can be really frustrating sometimes, the fact that a lot of people have strong opinions on art even though they don't have the real knowledge. And the final pieces were so disappointing to me that I ended up never posting them. And so yeah, in that case, I would really advise to be very strong-minded and say no to your clients. But I'm a people pleaser in that case, so I couldn't say no to them. And this tends to cause extra damage to you psychologically and mentally if you're already demanding of yourself and your own art like I am. So it's like, if they commissioned you, it should be because they like your art, if that makes sense. In this market, a lot of artists competing with you are very young. And trust me, because I've been there, they don't have to pay bills or anything. They just use their mom's PayPal accounts, and they're mostly just looking for money to set aside to buy a PS5 or something. And that's mostly the reason why a lot of people are underpricing. I understand a lot of artists underprice because they don't feel confident, but trust me, I think you deserve at least to have a minimum wage, even though you don't think your art is really that good. I know artists don't tend to think of the big picture, like the market or anything, because they're just there for the instant money, but let me tell you, that's not how things work. And if you look desperate, that's the perfect bait for nightmare clients. Let me know in the comments if you had experiences with nightmare clients. I've had some, like plenty of them. Let me know. And in this career, sometimes all it takes is for one big reputable artist to scam other clients, and you will start feeling harmed for that behavior as well. The biggest responsible for making clients jump to AI can be artists themselves, because of sometimes they underprice, and sometimes they realize that they didn't charge enough for the artwork and they just simply decide not to do it. And because of that, the clients end up without the artwork, and you know what happens next. It's just a mess. And that ends up harming the whole market. and in that case, it's hard to be an artist in this situation. It's hard to call it a market that way sometimes, you know? A lot of art commission clients don't commission you because of your style. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, what do you mean, Sayuui? It's like, I only get commissions about my style, and well, that's great for you, but in my case, my clients said it was because of my style, but what they were looking for was actually my skill to solve their problem. So what inspires me to make art is floral compositions and mandalas like Art Nouveau and Alphonse Mucha, and I really like fantasy style buildings and stuff like that. But no one commissions me for that. Instead, I've had clients that I have no idea why they looked at my portfolio and said, hey, I think I want to commission you to draw my orc OC. Why? Why does that happen? Why do you look at a portfolio full of anime girls and think, I want her to draw my orc OC? I deny some of those commissions, but sometimes I just really want to take them because even if I have a lot of commissions at the moment, more money is always welcome. But I don't know if I want to subject my artwork to that. It's hard to explain, but if you're taking commissions like me, you know how I feel. You might think that making a living off commissions can help you grow social media, but it's counterproductive to social media growth because you might get a lot of these commissions that only make sense to the client. So if you post them, no one but the client will understand them. It's kind of like the client has a story in their head, kind of like a headcanon, and you have to make that come true for them in a way. It's like this Pecora artwork I made of her kissing a random guy, but actually I think like the Hololive girls don't like guys, if that makes sense. And when I see all of these other artists drawing whatever they want and posting what they love, I usually feel really jealous. When I'm not working on commissions, I'm working on art to grow social media, and sometimes that kills the magic in drawing for me. Don't even get me started on gift commissions like portraits for pets and families and stuff like that, because I really hate them and I don't do them anymore except for very rare exceptions. Before I start talking about the next problem, there's something you might want to know. After my anime cons in South America video, I actually got a partnership with a Chinese manufacturer. If you live in South America and ever tried to order goods from China to sell at conventions, you know that the biggest deal breaker is shipping and the tariff prices. And with GSJJ, I was very impressed. In fact, I was so impressed that for a moment I thought of gatekeeping them, and you know that we don't gatekeep things in this channel. Usually these Chinese manufacturers will charge you a kidney for shipping, making the profitability of these goods almost impossible. But GSJJ sent me a FedEx for free! They have free worldwide shipping, and they ship to Brazil. My keychains arrived only 5 days after the order, and I didn't pay any tariffs either! Can you believe that? After I placed the order on their website, I was contacted by Cherry, who sent me a design proof and made sure that everything was correct before sending the final keychains. This is another thing our local manufacturers don't do, so I'm not used to this princess treatment. I promise I'm not being biased just because I got a coupon, because when the keychains arrived, my jaw was on the floor with the quality. Usually when ordering from national manufacturers, I have a very hard time because they don't care about protecting the surface of the drawing against scratches, but GSJJ made a double acrylic keychain without me having to ask, so thank you so much GSJJ for the partnership in this channel, and please call me again, please. Okay, so art commissions can soak up your creativity, and you might be thinking, but Sayuui, aren't commissions a creative job? Actually no, because you're just completing tasks. Actually, clients give you a prompt and you come up with a finished illustration. Lately, I've been trying to be more creative because AI cannot do that. But even with that, it's easy to get lost and not feel creative anymore. But even though it's not a very creative job, that can take up a lot of your creative energy, especially if drawing is still hard for you. I can give you a very practical example of this. One of my biggest life and career inspirations is Katy Perry. I remember watching the documentary of her really trying to make it into the music world, trying to reach out to get record deals. And when she finally got the deal and tried to come up with her own voice, she came up with that bubbly visual, the colorful and happy vibes. And nowadays, Katy Perry is just like chasing TikTok trends. And that's the problem. It's easy to keep dragging your body while leaving your soul behind. you can still drag your drawings and still keep drawing even though you are in an art block. And trust me, I've been in an art block for a very long time. I still keep creating because that's my job and it's kind of how it's expected to be. The problem of this is that if you're considering working for the industry one day, you cannot just draw commissions, because one of the things that recruiters from the industry do when checking out portfolios is to check out your personal projects as well. And that's how they know if they should consider you for a project, because they want to see your soul as an artist, if that makes sense. The screen time we spend is kind of insane. Usually commissions will demand you to stay in front of a computer way longer than you think. I'm a naturally anxious person, so I lose sleep very easily, and if I don't control my screen time before bed, I might end up not sleeping at all at night. Another thing that might freak you out when making commissions is that commissions are a very momentous wish, and people nowadays are very anxious to receive your response. So if someone sends you a message about commissions and you're not there right now, you might be putting a lot of dollars on the table because people want something and the next moment they don't. So if a client reaches out to you at midnight, for example, you will probably start feeling guilty for taking too long to reply, and that can become a trap of a rabbit hole. But even if you're careful with that, it's a very big problem to solve by yourself. So what I've been doing recently is to set up those messages, automatic messages, but I still get a little bit paranoid and scared of losing money just because I'm not there all the time, you know. If you like this video so far, please leave a like so I'll know I'm doing a good job. I've been making commissions full-time for 4 years now, and initially I thought it was a ladder. I thought I started by making personal commissions, and by now I'd be knee-deep in commissions. The more you do them, the easier it becomes and more people show up, right? Right? Well, that's not how it works. Sure, if you build a vast portfolio, you build up credibility, but that's not exactly what clients are looking for. I noticed that the clients are looking to commission the artists that are blowing up on social media at the moment. And if you follow me for long enough, you know that I'm not built up to chase social media numbers. I just happen to post art there, and if you like me, you follow me. Honestly, I have a hard time managing expectations. Some of you guys think I'm popular and successful, and while I can agree to a certain extent, I still don't feel like it. I thought that by now, I'd be having a solo exhibition in Japan or some shit. I know that's a lot to expect, especially from someone who has a young business like me. The truth is, I spent these 4 years of my career planting my seeds more than 60 hours a week. And as we know, only 20% of the efforts result in 80% of the results. So where is my harvest? When is it gonna be up to my standards? Actually, in this career specifically, you'll find out that you're trying to build up knowledge and experience, while most successful artists have been around since the age of DeviantArt, and some of them just got lucky one day and are killing the best art jobs while you're just crying in the rain. I've set out to train the next generation of successful artists, so if you're trying to go down the same path and you don't want to fall in the same pits as I did, you can check out my ebook, The Full-Time Artist Roadmap. The link is down there in the description. Even with all these things, I still want to do this for the rest of my life, and here are some of the reasons. Recently, I had a Draw This in Your Style collaboration with XPpen to help grow my follower count on Instagram. The winner was completely random, and not only did it get a lot of entries, which I'm super grateful for, but when I raffled the number, the winner was a mom. She told me she entered her daughter's drawing to be able to give the tablet to her. That reminded me of how grateful I am to my mom for supporting me throughout these years. If it wasn't for her, I'd probably be working a job I hate now. That made me think my work is important, and that's why I have to keep doing it. You know, sometimes I get upset when I remember I started late to be one of the most successful anime digital artists out there. All I can think of is how upsetting is that if I want to be like these guys, I have to do YouTube. But a lot of you guys send me DMs on Twitter with words of encouragement, telling me to keep up because my videos have been helping you. And to you guys, I'm immensely grateful. Thank you so much for coming this far into the video and supporting me in this journey. It hasn't been easy, and it tends to get harder. And if you're like me and want to pursue a career and are curious about what I learned in my 4 years as a full-time artist, you should watch this video next. And I hope to see you there.